Hey guys, welcome back to the Launch Your Real Life podcast. My name is Bobby, your host, and this is the podcast where we talk about helping young Christians take control of their finances and actually go from dependence on parents and family to independence so that you can be free to live your life, make an impact for the kingdom in whatever way the Lord leads you, to make sure that money is not holding you back, to make sure that finances is not a stumbling block for your family. With that being said, I was thinking about it this week, and I wanted to do an episode. I was watching a Dave Ramsey clip recently, and actually, if you watch a whole lot of content, of financial content on YouTube, you'll see this a lot. Actually, this similar situation. Anyways, there's this a woman calling and trying to explain their situation, right? And she said that their household income was around $300,000 a year, right? And of course, she said that it fluctuated a little bit, but 300,000 was the number she gave. And she explained that they are living paycheck to paycheck. And of course, the host tried to understand, like, where is your money going? Where, like, what is this? What's your mortgage? What other expenses do you have? Where could all this money be going? And she was having a really hard time answering them. And again, that's not uncommon. That a lot of the people who reach out for help have what a lot of people would consider really great incomes and still struggle with their finances. And most of the time, and this goes across the spectrum, a lot of times a big part of the issue is that they don't know what happens to their money, right? So they don't have any idea of spending an absorbent amount on one thing. They just know that their money is disappearing as fast as they get it, right? Not a unique problem to high earners. This can be any of us. But anyways, as they drilled down on this, it just got me thinking that for a lot of us, the biggest problem we have is actually a lack of awareness of our own financial flow, our financial picture, if you will, right? If I asked, would you be able to tell me how much you make in a given month, right? Would you be able to tell me how much you spend? If I said, what's your monthly burn? Like, if we're going to calculate your emergency fund and it's 3 to 6 months of your essential expenses, right? Can you tell me what that number is? A lot of people can't do that. Now, you may be saying, well, that's ridiculous that she, with $300,000, doesn't know where this money is going. And you're like, well, I don't really know where mine is either, but I only make, a couple $100 at my part-time job, right? Or I'm still a student and I just make enough to pay for my semester or what have you. It actually isn't a matter of how little or how much money you make. If you don't learn how to understand your money and how it flows when you have a little, then once you graduate, you get that big time job, you're quadrupling what you've been making or tripling it. Those same habits are going to follow you. And in fact, you're just going to have more and more little things slip in. Oh, you got to get furniture. Maybe you put it on credit and you're making payments. You buy a new car. You get a credit card. These things are going to start piling up. And pretty soon, you will also be making a lot more money than you were a year or two before. And you're not going to be able to answer where your money's going either if you don't start setting those habits in place, right? And so that's why I want to challenge you, and I've made this challenge before on other places and probably on this podcast too, but get yourself an app like just a budgeting app that will connect to your bank accounts, and just start tracking your expenses. And I'm not talking getting minutely, but like, you need to be aware of when your bills come out, and you need to be aware of, like, hey, man, I've eaten 5 times at Chick-fil-A in the past 2 weeks. Maybe that's a problem area. Awareness is key before you can make any changes, right? So, I have said this before in other places too. You need to have awareness so that you understand what your real issue is. Maybe you don't spend too much. Maybe you beat yourself over the head because you think you spend too much, but you don't. You just don't make enough at the moment, right? That could be a very real thing. But the key is just start paying attention, right? It doesn't have to be through an app, although that's a really convenient way. And of course, I want you to have a system. I want you to, not be a passenger while your financial life is just driving itself into a ditch or driving itself along without direction. But it's okay to just take the step of looking at your bank account every day, downloading an app like Rocket Money that you can hook up your accounts for free, and just start seeing your transactions. Right? You don't excuse me. You don't even have to go through the steps of making a budget yet. Let that come later. Hopefully, that'll be next week's episode is an overview of the budgeting system that I use. And once you have that general awareness, maybe you won't need to look at an app that tracks your transactions anymore. The app that I built that I use now myself for my own use, and that will be put out there soon for you guys. I did not put it to where it connects to your bank accounts because I frankly, didn't want to deal with all that legal headache. I'm just a one-man operation. And yet I don't need to, right? Because of the budgeting system I use. Again, that's next week. But that comes from awareness first. I still had to go find the information to plug into my app, right? So I do have Rocket Money still on my phone that I pull up very occasionally. And sometimes when I need to check how much I've been paying for a certain thing. So the need for awareness doesn't stop. But if you are consistently aware, man, how many times can I say the word aware in a single podcast? When you're consistently aware, you don't have to be overbearing about it. You can actually be pretty hands off. But if you're just now embarking on this, maybe you're terrified of finances, maybe you balk at the idea of looking at what you're spending on a regular basis, then I really challenge you to start, because awareness is the first step before you can make any changes. And all I'm asking in this new year is that you take that first step, start checking your account every single day. Again, not to be obsessive with it, because you can go the other way and be obsessive with it. That's not where I want you to get. Check it once every day at least, until you get used to understanding how your money flows in and out of your life and what you're spending money on. So this woman who lives in a household of over $300,000 a year of income, they're still struggling. They're still struggling to even understand their financial picture. If you're listening to this podcast, that's not going to be you, because you are going to grab your finances by the horns. You are going to take matters into your own hands, not to obsessively control, but to have mastery over. Okay. We were reading in Matthew in my Sunday school class, and my best friend was teaching us, the Sermon on the Mount, and you cannot serve both God and money. You can only have one master, right? So God is our master. We have mastery over our finances because that too belongs to the Lord. It's just been given to us. It's our responsibility, right? We can't manage something we're not aware of. So this is not an indictment. This is not a judgment. This is a challenge. get aware of your situation. Even if that means you realize that you are way over your head. If that's you and you need some help with something specific, please reach out. And I would love to have a conversation with you. So, with that said, I hope you guys will be back next week. Thank you for listening. And again, share this with somebody who that this might resonate with. Share this with a college student who is about to enter into the real world. I would really appreciate it. All right. Thank you guys so much. Have a great one.